Welcome to the channel. In this episode, we're going to be swapping over the pedal box for your auto to manual conversion. First up, I would recommend getting the pedals out the same model that you have, because the firewall and all the mounting locations are going to be the same. That is what I didn't do. So my donor car is a 2005 Subaru Liberty Spec B. So it's got the 6-speed, it's got the H6 in it. And this is a 2001 Forester, so got a little bit of differences, and we're going to have to do some modifications. I've got the master cylinder sitting in there. Let's take the pitch top mount off to get all the hard lines over to the slave. So just sitting there, it's got the rod through. Let's go have a look at the pedal assembly and what we need to do. So these are all like, this is knock sensor, cam and crank sensor. So we have to get them back through somehow. It's from the Haltech. So looking at that rod, it's right up against that. I think that's TCU for the auto. And it looks like it shares the bolts that we need to put the clutch in. So we're going to have to get that and work out the wiring and what we need. We'll get the brake and the accelerator out to make things a bit easier. So we'll get this off as well. Alright, we have the pedal assembly out. So the cable accelerator pedal is out. Let's disconnect it from the throttle body so we can have a little bit more length to get it out. But it's all opened up. Let's get that, I believe, TCU down. Little plug over here as well. Looks like another mounting point for a pedal. And double check that, see if the drive-by-wire pedal fits in there. Alright, the drive-by-wire pedal from the Liberty does not fit. Let's see how the brake pedal goes. So the master cylinder, pretty easy. That just goes through, it's got the rod, and we'll go have a look. That came out. Alright, so with that TCU removed, we have the clutch in. Now we do have a little bit of modification. We've got about a 10mm spacer on that top bolt there. But she's in there good. Now if you got a pedal box out of Forester of first gen, this would have all bolted up. I'll move along to the accelerator, pedal and the brake. This is all one bracket here, so we couldn't use the Liberty brake because we couldn't put the throttle on there. This is the cable throttle. So what we've done is we've taken the actual brake pedal off the mount. I've had to modify the pedal. I'll show you why we couldn't use the bracket. Alright, here is the Liberty bracket. Now the angle up here is different, so it wouldn't mount up through those two holes there. And the accelerator bracket is not on this because of the drive-by-wire. The drive-by-wire wouldn't mount up either. It's totally different. So if the time comes to do drive-by-wire, we're going to have to make up our own mount. It'll have to be off this original one. So here is the automatic pedal that we just unbolted. So there was a bolt that went through here. This is the Liberty one. We took that off and we put it onto the Forester bracket. Now we are needing to drill a hole, and we've had to push that sensor all the way out. So we are currently drilling the hole. Right, so when the Liberty pedal went in, the hole that the pin goes through is too low, and the shaft for the brake, the plunger, is on the wrong angle. This being a little bit longer, and so we've brought it up is that probably 20 mil. It's an 8.5 hole, so we've got an 8.5 drill bit, and it's taking quite some time, probably halfway through, so we'll just keep drilling that. And the main thing that we need to do going from an auto to a manual is we have to deal with all that wiring from that TCU. So I'm going to bring up the schematics and we're going to see what wires that we still need. We have, well, we will lose the speed sensors from the auto to the 6-speed. Yeah, if you're just doing a 5-speed, you got the speed sensors on the gearbox, so you won't lose them. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun with that. I do have a Haltech and I've got the GPS speed. It's up here somewhere, up here. So we do get speed to the Haltech, but we won't be getting it to the dash unless I go to a Haltech dash. Alright, the second hole, the top one there, is finally drilled. Took quite some time, it's pretty thick. And I've just hit it with some paint, so I'll let that dry and then we'll put the brake pedal back in. Alright, so I've got all 3 pedals in. Not looking too bad, pretty even here, a little bit less like, just like a normal pedal box. However, the angle of the rod here, if it was standard, it would be there, and I'm pulling that down, so it wouldn't have a nice smooth movement back through the firewall. So we drilled that extra hole, and now I have to adjust the rod back. There is a bit of adjustment there, so we'll take the pedal back out, we'll adjust the rod back, so we should get back to around there. Has to do something about that switch though. Pretty sure it needs to be all the way in. Alright, just had the pedal up there. It was in a good position. The hole on this side was a little bit too small, so we just got to get that a little bit bigger. And we've got to work out that switch. If I have to 3D print a bigger little stopper, I'll do that. It shouldn't be too hard. Even though I just have a hole and bolt it together, just need to extend that out. Alright, so it wasn't the hole that was the issue, it was the rod. I'd actually bent it and the holes weren't lining up when I was loosening it off to adjust it. Went to a height that I'm happy with. You can see here that the clutch isn't level, and you can definitely feel that. So I want to bring the clutch up probably another 10 mil. And you can see here they're not even. They felt comfortable sitting in the car, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, I want to bring that up just a little bit. So we're going to adjust the button as well. Then I'll adjust the rod. Alright, I've got the clutch master out, so we need to adjust here, probably about 3 mil out. So I'll loosen that off and spin it, and then we'll measure the gap pretty much, because it's not much, but should be good. Alright, there's the adjustment. Like I said, not much, so we'll tighten that up, put it back in, bolt it in, and hopefully she lines up. It should. Alright guys, we've got all 3 pedals in there. We've even got the little footrest from the Liberty, so pretty happy with that. Now we do have to work out the wiring for the TCU that we removed. That'll be in an upcoming episode. Obviously, if you're watching this as the full manual swap, it'll be in this episode. So guys, to sum it up, if you are doing a manual swap from an auto and your model has a manual variant, get the pedals out of that, it's going to be a lot easier. Had to do some modifications here, changing angles and whatnot. I did get it to where I like it, but still need to work out that brake switch. So that might just be a 3D printed clip where that brown clip is there, just to push it up a bit. Pretty easy. So pretty much at the moment the brake lights will be on. I believe that's how it works. And we haven't got a clutch switch as of yet. We've got to work that out. There probably is a connector in here for the clutch. So from a little bit of research that I've done, I know that I'm going to have to put the neutral switch onto the inhibitor switch from the auto to show that it's in neutral. So the clutch switch will go to that, and there's a neutral switch on the gearbox that will go to that. So either way, it'll know it's in neutral and I'll be able to start it. So if I've got it in gear, put my foot on the clutch, you'll see that it's in neutral and I'll be able to start it. If it's obviously not in a gear, I'll be able to start it. The main thing about the clutches and the clutch switch, it's a cruise control thing as well, but I don't have cruise control, so I don't need to worry about that. You might, so you might have to do a little bit more research into what you need to do, but pretty simple. I need to plug that one back in. It's just this fella here. It's cool. It seems a bit tight. Alright, I'm going to leave this off because we're going to come back to the wiring. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this episode up here on the pedal assembly and the clutch master cylinder. So guys, tune in for next episode where we continue with the manual swap.